I visited Prague for a few days in the summer, and it is just as lovely as everyone had mentioned. There is so much history, gorgeous architecture, delicious food, and wonderful people in this beautiful city. There is so much to see and do here that I was a little overwhelmed in the beginning, but I figured out a great 3-day itinerary, and I hope this will help you out on your trip too. The first thing I had to do in Prague was check out the famous Charles Bridge. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gonna go explore Prague a little bit before the mass crowds come out, because Prague is a very tourist-heavy destination. So I'm gonna go check out Charles Bridge because that's one of the most popular destinations in Prague. Okay, so this is Charles Bridge. There's already a lot of people here, 7:30, but later on it's just gonna be packed. But this bridge was actually built in the 13th century, 1357, and it's still going on strong. It did go through a lot of disasters, but kept on rebuilding it, but it's been here since the 1300s, so pretty historic. Also, there's a bunch of statues up here, and those were built in the 16th, 17th century, but in 1965, now they replaced them with replicas, and the original ones are in the National Museum. This bridge leads to the Prague Castle over there. Over there. Famous spot for portraits and weddings, engagement photos. Everybody wants that picture here. I mean, every bride was here to get that special photo with their husband-to-be. There's a myth going around that says if you touch this guy's statue with the 5 stars around his head, you're bound to have some good luck. The statue is of John of Nepomuk, the priest in Prague under King Wenceslaus IV. Going to the John Lennon Wall right now. So it's a very symbolic wall in Prague. And during communism, they would come at night and, draw their freedom of speech, basically. And they would get it erased the next day because, the communists would erase it. But at the end of communism, it was like a symbolism of, hey, it's the freedom of speech, we can write whatever we want now, and the graffiti stays up there. So that's why it's such a symbolic place. And they call it the John Lennon Wall because I think they wrote like Beatles lyrics and all that, but it's a pretty cool meaning, a very symbolic meaning. And it's not the prettiest wall, but the meaning behind it is beautiful. Here is the John Lennon Wall. Down here at the base of Vltava River. This is where the swans are supposed to be. When you look at pictures or videos, there's loads of them. But at least I saw one swan, I guess. Right now, there's not any around. There's a lot of ducks, cute ducks around. Boats. You could take a boat tour too. There was like a vendor over there. And then Charles Bridge is behind me over there.
island is also home to these creepy baby statues designed by David Cherny, who is a Czech sculptor known for his eccentric artwork. He has many weird and quirky sculptures throughout Prague. I kind of like them.
I'm at Mala Strana. This is one of the oldest quarters in Prague. It's full of Baroque-style buildings with eateries, pubs. Also, St. Nicholas Church is here, so got to go check that out. This is St. Nicholas Church. This church is famous because Sebastian Bach and Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart both had concerts at this church. Wow, that's pretty cool. Very historic, iconic composers. So you can take a look inside this church, but it'll cost 100 crowns, which is about $4.50 US dollars. It didn't seem like there was much in there, so I didn't do it, but if you want to, just go right in there.
Next, head on over to Old Town to check out the astronomical clock show that happens on the hour, every hour. Be prepared for mass crowds. If you want to see Old Town and the clock without all the people, go in the morning. That's exactly what I did the next morning, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the clock when I get to that point.
Look at the mass amounts of tourists. It's crazy.
For lunch or dinner, enjoy a great view of this mill wheel at this cute cafe located near the John Lennon Wall. You can't miss it. They serve traditional Czech food and a variety of other European dishes. After dinner, walk off those calories and walk up these stairs to the top of the hill by the Wrestling Titans to get a grand view of Prague.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I think we're only halfway up there.
The views are incredible and the walk uphill is well worth it. The best part was that there wasn't that many people up here. Around this time and in the summer, it's nearly impossible to go anywhere without a crowd, so it was a nice treat. As I mentioned before, Old Town is a completely different vibe in the morning. Hardly anyone there except for the early risers like myself and wedding shoots. Enjoy this peaceful moment while you can.
So behind me over there is the astronomical clock. It was built in the 1400s and it's still working. A lot of people come here to the Old Town Square just to see the show. It happens every hour on the hour, and they have like the skeletons moving, and there's like 4 people up top that do some little things, and the skeleton rings the bell, and there's some other things going on. Hundreds of people come on the hour just to watch that show. Interesting, sad tidbit about this clock is that the man that built it, he was blinded right afterwards so that he wouldn't build one anywhere else around the world. So it's kind of a sad story. But he built an amazing clock that still works, and it tells a lot of different times. That's why it's called an astronomical clock, because it has like a hand for the sun, the moon, some other things that I don't know, but it's pretty amazing.
If you're hungry for some breakfast, head on over to Den Knock, which is about an 8-minute walk from Old Town. It is the cutest restaurant with wonderful pancakes and other breakfast foods. Get here early to beat the crowd because the seating is limited and it's pretty popular. Next, take a stroll around Jewish Quarter. This used to be one of the poorest neighborhoods in Prague, and now it's one of the richest, with high-end stores like Valentino and Gucci. Next to the shopping area are several synagogues you can visit, along with the old Jewish cemetery.
Behind me over there is the Dancing House, and it's another famous spot in Prague where everybody comes to shoot, just the Dancing House. It was designed by a Czech-Croatian architect, and I guess it was kind of controversial because it's such a stark difference from all of the beautiful the Gothic and Art Nouveau and those historical beautiful buildings that Prague is known for. But they got built and now it's there. You can go inside and get coffee and stuff upstairs, but I don't think a lot of people do that. But there it is, the Dancing House. I'm dying because I'm trying to find this castle called Vyšehrad, and a few locals recommended it to me and said, it's way less touristy than Prague Castle and that I should stop by. So I came, but I had to go through these killer hills, and I hate hills, and it was pretty steep. There's no signs anywhere. I see this fort-looking thing, and I believe this is it, but yeah, there's no signs anywhere. It's like everybody's kind of confused. I'm not the only one, but there is a sign. Vyšehrad. So I am here. So here's a little map. A lot bigger than I anticipated, I think. In the ancient Vyšehrad, the place of first Czech king's residence, where Přemysl family castle used to stay, and the place full of myths and legends. Looks like there's a nice view up here. This is the beer garden that they're telling me about. This looks nice. Back to the view here. Ooh, look at this view. Wow. This place is humongous. I didn't think it would be this big, but there's so many things to check out here. There's a beer garden, there's a gorgeous view. It's actually a long trail path that you could see of Prague, the city. And then behind me is the church. And there's bistros, cafes. What I really like about this place is that there's not that many people here. It's not crowded like the Prague Castle. Everybody has their own space. Everybody kind of has their own bench. It's nicely shaded in the bench areas. This whole place is really old, from the 10th century. The church behind me is Basilica of St. Peter and St. Paul, I believe it was. Yeah, St. Peter and St. Paul. And I wish I could go check it out, but I just don't have the time. I just didn't expect it to be this big here. But yeah, it's a great place to relax and get away from the crowd and see the beauty here.
You could end the evening in Vyšehrad's beer garden with cheap beer, great grilled food, and fantastic views of Prague. Or head back into the city center and enjoy a rooftop view at Intercontinental Prague.
I'm at the Prague Castle now. It is huge. There's so much ground to cover. I'm not going to cover all of it, but I just wanted to check out the main points of it, or the main sites. It's the largest castle grounds in Europe, with 750,000 some square feet of ground. It was built in the 9th century. The most famous thing to see here is the St. Vitus Cathedral right behind me over there. I'm about to go check it out now. The inside is supposed to be beautiful. You can pay to view the entire ground, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to walk around a little bit and then check out the inside of the church, which you could do for free. And then there's also Golden Lane, which I'm probably going to check out later. And at 5 o'clock, it's free to get into Golden Lane. There's no vendors open, I don't think, but you could still go in and walk around with less people.
If you still have energy left after visiting the Prague Castle, head back to the other side of the bridge and check out Wenceslas Square, the Franciscan Gardens, Church of Our Lady of the Snows, the head of Franz Kafka, and so much more. In the evening, check out Lucerna Hall, where one of Prague's famous statues hangs on the ceiling, King Wenceslas riding an upside-down horse. It's one of David Cerny's controversial statues in Prague. There's also a cafe, cinema, and music bar here, but the most interesting thing to see here are these non-stop running open wooden elevators called Paternosters.
Here we go. Woo. Okay, now I have to get up right here.
Thanks to the Honest Guide for this tip. If you haven't checked out the Honest Guide channel, you should, because they have tons of great tips on Prague. If you want a break and have a drink with the view, get off at the top and go to the Streccia rooftop. If this isn't your thing, you can go to Petrin Hill instead on the other side of the bridge and get a grand view of Prague. As you can see, there is so much to see and do in Prague. Hope this 3-day itinerary helps plan out your visit to Prague, and let us know if you have any questions in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to watch more of our videos, please subscribe to our channel. We post weekly videos and we'd love for you to follow us along on our adventures. Thanks, and happy travels!